Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jake here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Go PvP video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing some regional tournament format battles versus our opponent named SimplyMoxie, a 500 million XP player who, obviously by that stat right there, is probably a top PvP player, and he probably has over 2k wins under his belt easily. So we just hit Ultra, I believe yesterday when I recorded these battles. We hit Ultra, and then immediately we wanted to do some regional practice. So you guys will see our teams on the right, which is why I'm calling this tournament format, because these aren't going to be best of threes, but we are going to be showing each other's teams. We have very alike teams. The only difference in our teams is that he has Altaria and I have Bastiodon. So he is running the double flyer strategy for regionals, which was a really good strategy in, I forget if it was Worlds or regionals itself, but definitely worked out pretty well. But we do have Bastiodon here, and that does counter it pretty well. So we're gonna be running Swampert, Bastiodon, Skarmory, Medicham, Venusaur, and Azumarill, and he's gonna be running everything the same except for Altaria in replace of Bastiodon. So yeah, you guys could see that there. I hope you like the little Pokemon gifs over there that move. They're cool. They're animated. Found on pokestadium.com if you guys want to download them. Yeah, without further ado, if you guys enjoy this video, please don't forget to smash that subscribe, hit that bell notification to be notified when I upload my videos and when I go live. Make sure to leave that like and comment down below if you would like to see more of these tournament format battles in other cups. So without further ado, again, let's jump right into these battles against our opponent. So getting into this first battle here, we are going to be leading off with Skarm, and he leads off with Altaria. So we saw that his team wasn't the strongest against Skarm. A lot of things on his team go pretty even with Skarm besides Venusaur. So we thought Skarm is easily, most definitely the safest lead option here, and it is a positive matchup against Altaria if I do shield twice. But I decided to not shield. He is going for the piggyback off of himself though. He's basically charging up to 2 charge moves and then getting them off immediately. We are going to block that one of his last sky attacks here. And yeah, so he gets to that last sky attack first, which we aren't going to block because that Dragon Breath would have been able to KO us in time before. So we're going to bring in a Azumarill here and just farm the rest of this. Now, bubbles aren't going to be doing very effective damage, but that is actually perfect. That's what we want. We want to be able to farm as much energy from this as we can, because those sky attacks won't be doing very much, and we will be resisting those Dragon Breaths. So in comes his Skarm, and ideally here I wanted to have Hydro Pump, but I'm using Azumarill for Twilight, and I would rather have Ice Beam, Play Rough, and Twilight. So obviously I don't have 2 maxed out Azumarills, otherwise I would have Hydro Pump on this one. But that is okay, because you guys saw we immediately hit that Skarmory with 2 Ice Beams, and as you guys see here, we have Venusaur in the back, so we're really going to have to try to get rid of the Skarmory here. We are going to use our next Ice Beam, which unfortunately for us he blocks. I was really hoping he didn't shield that, because now he's going to be able to finish us off. And our Venusaur, we are gonna get so close here, guys. He is so low on health, but I thought the right call was just farming the Skarm down. I didn't think he'd be able to get to another sky attack, but yeah, one more Vine Whip and we would have fainted that, and he possibly would have had a Azumarill or a Swampert in the back. So maybe we should have just used our Frenzy Plant, but that could have been a mistake, or he could have had something like to counter us in the back anyways. But I'm not really sure how that would have went if we did get KO. If it was a Swampert, it would have paid off, I believe. But regardless, GG's in game 1. SimplyMoxie. Let's jump into game number 2, and we're gonna go again with the same lead. He doesn't really have anything that hard counters us, and he brings in Swampert. So this is again a pretty even matchup. I forget exactly who wins this in 2 shields. I need to relearn my sims. But yeah, so he is going to decide to block the first sky attack, and he is going to try to bait us to use a shield by charging up 2 hydro cannons back to back, but we're not going to fall for it. We are going to shield the second one though, obviously, when we want to try to force him to use another shield. He's going to make a good switch into his Scarm. Now, we tried to make that switch a little earlier, but we are in the middle of our air slash, so the animation was not allowing us to switch, but that is perfectly okay. We come in with a Zoomerl with this Ice Beam, and he decides to not block, so here he goes again with his attempt to piggyback off of his own charge move. I don't even bother with that anymore just because I don't even want to risk it. But we expect him to, I think, shield this? Maybe let it go? Okay, he shields, which means he's going to farm up some extra energy, but we actually switch out immediately as our switch timer went down so we could preserve some energy on our Azumarill, and then we could KO his Scarm with our own energy stored on our Scarm. So that seemed like a good play there, but let's see how this ends. So he brings in that Medicham, which is actually good because remember we have that Azumarill we just saved with a play rough. I was almost anticipating him to switch out there so he could absorb the play rough, but he decides to just stay in with his stay in with his Medicham, and then we have Venusaur in the back. So this definitely isn't good if he gets off 2 ice punches, but in the moment I don't think he's gonna get to 2. He's gonna make a switch out immediately into Swampert, and that's actually good because we can tank this Hydro Cannon, but it will do a lot. But unfortunately, guys, we double KO. So yeah, that was kind of unfortunate for us because we should have been able to survive one more mud shot, but I guess we were just so low on HP we couldn't. If we had survived, we definitely would have won that game because our only option there was to farm that because he would have fainted me regardless with the Medicham with stored energy if I had used all my energy on Venusaur. So well played there. Our switch out of Azumarill just wasn't enough to win us that game. So, you know, GG's, it is what it is. If only we saved the shield for Venusaur in the back, maybe that would have been different. But yeah, let's jump into game number 3. Alrighty, guys, so jumping into game number 3 here. SimplyMoxie is a very good trainer for sure. He's definitely no joke. We have an Azumarill versus Skarmory opening, and here the main goal is to just burn shields or win the matchup. So he decides to not shield first Ice Beam, which makes me believe he's okay with letting this Skarm go. So we decide to not shield either and see what he does. So he's going to fire off his next Sky Attack as well. We're going to block that. And then we're just trying to feel him out still, his playstyle, and how he likes to use shields. So we're going to go for the Ice Beam, and he does block. So clearly he has a reason to block his Skarmory. But he does get off the Sky Attack first. We are going to decide to double shield and then go with our Ice Beam. Now, he does not shield, so down goes that Skarm. He does have the shield advantage, but I love having that switch advantage, guys. And then he actually decides to bring in Altaria. Really interesting. He is going to try to farm here, but you guys are going to see in a second why this is a really greedy farm from him. We force his first shield or his last shield with an Ice Beam, but we are able to get to a second Ice Beam, and that farm from him was definitely not worth it. And in my opinion, it was way too greedy because look who we decided to bring in the back. We noticed he kept running Altaria and Skarmory a lot, so we decided to bring our Bastion on, which can obviously tank anything from this Altaria. And then he's going to make a swap into Swampert, but we see it coming, and we bring in our Skarmory immediately. In 0 shields, I'm not exactly sure who wins this. It is definitely really close, but he is trying to farm a ton of energy here, but it won't be enough. He's going to have to use 2 Hydro Cannons to KO our Skarm because his HP is so low. then we can bring in Bastion, and we know we can survive one more Hydro Cannon. Since he just used all of his energy, we know this definitely isn't an Earthquake. That's perfectly okay. And then in comes that Altaria with 1 HP, and we finish it off with the Smackdown. So, GG's and well played once again. We finally win a match versus SimplyMoxie, and now we feel very comfortable with his team and his playstyle, and we're kind of getting a better read on his play. So let's jump into the 4th game. Alright, so jumping into this next game, we're going to be leading off with Medicham, and he leads with that shiny Venusaur. Very, very nice. Now this matchup can be a winning one if we get the shield bait. So we do decide to let him use his first charge move, and then we try to pretend, or no, we actually go immediately for the Ice Punch. We did try to fake him out there, but we went for the opposite fake, I guess. I don't even know what you call that. The fake. And now we're going to go for the Power Up Punch, and he decides not to block, so just using his Venusaur as a sacrifice, I suppose, and we are going to be able to win that opening matchup. Even though we're at 1 HP with our Medicham, that's okay, because he brings in Skarmory, and we have a hard check to that being Bastion. So we're going to expect the Medicham to come in, and it does. So we're going to swap immediately to our Azumarill, and we already know this is going to be pretty much a wrap here, I believe, because even a Medicham with 2 shields can't really handle Azumarill, because I still have 1 shield, and we're going to save some energy by going for shield baits, which is pretty crucial, because those 2 extra bubbles in the end could win you the matchup. So obviously we're not going to block any of these power up punches up until the last one, and we're going to go for the shield bait once again. He's going to have to shield, obviously, because he knows I have Bastion on the back, and then he actually decides to hop out into Skarmory early, which was a good strategy, but we held our nerve. We didn't use our energy on Azumarill, so we know we can win that matchup in the back, and Bastion can tank all these. We do farm a ton of extra energy here. We're going to finish off this Skarm, and he's going to be forced to use that energy there, otherwise we would have gotten to another Flamethrower. That Power Punch will KO, but remember, we still have Azumarill in the back, and it got really close there. One more counter and we would have been done, but we get the Undertap, and we do finish that Medicham off with a Play Rough and 1 shield in the back. So really close game, and these matches are super competitive, guys. You may not be able to tell because regionals is kind of a slower meta. Like, the battles are much slower and the Pokemon are a lot tankier, but definitely a lot of really good plays from him and I. So definitely a lot of fun battling with this trainer. And so jumping into this next game, we're going to be leading with Swampert, and he leads with Swampert. So this was a little risky because I definitely didn't want to get caught off by a Venusaur lead. So obviously we're just going to go for the normal. This piggybacking is no longer a thing. We're just going to go for it. And he's going to try to get the piggyback off of himself here, which we're going to block that second Hydro Cannon and fire off one of our own. And he decides to not block, so we get switch advantage once again, and he brings in Venusaur, and we're gonna be able to farm that Venusaur here with Skarm. We are expecting a switch out into a Medicham, and so our strat here is to tank this first Power Punch so that Medicham is on 0 energy. Then we're going to burn a shield with a Sky Attack so that our Azumarill can come in and not really be afraid of anything. So Medicham is on even energy with us now, so that's really good. And we also burn a shield beforehand because we know that worst case scenario, Skarmory can still farm or can still win against Venusaur no matter how much energy the Venusaur does have. And right now we're going to obviously go for the shield bait to burn that last shield, which you get, which is really good. Then he swaps into Venusaur, which was pretty... It was a good call, get this Frenzy Plant off, but we still have Scarm in the back. We're just going to let this Azumarill go. And then we can finish off Venusaur with our Skarmory, and we still have a shield boot, so we're going to fire off this final Sky Attack and KO this Medicham to take that game. So having this switch advantage for us is so important, I feel like, in my play. I feel a lot more comfortable when I see what their next Pokemon comes in with, or what they come in with as their next Pokemon, because I do enjoy running hard counters to things. So definitely pretty vital for me to win switch advantage. So yeah, let's jump into the next game. Alright, so jumping into one of the final games here, we're going to be leading Medicham and he leads Altaria. So this is not a good matchup, but there are ways around it. And the first one is by shield baiting right here, and let's see if we do get it. We do get it, so that's really crucial. We thought maybe since last time we played Medicham, we went straight for Ice Punch. He'd probably think it was another Ice Punch. So we got that little mind game there, I think. And now we're going to go for the Ice Punch. And he does not block, so we got it. But we're like, okay, we burned a shield and we got this Altaria really low. We're just going to let Medicham go down. Now, I probably should have just shielded that to see what would have happened, but I didn't want to use both shields that early on. So instead, we're going to switch into Altaria here. Or not Altaria, we're going to switch it into a Skarmory. Farm the rest of that Altaria. And because we know he doesn't have a hard Skarm counter on his team, Skarmory was our safe switch in there. And we are going to be able to use our energy on his Skarm. So you guys know this this mirror match very, very well. It's just a fight of the Steel Birds. Going to go for the piggyback off of himself, but I don't think it really worked there. We get to another Sky Attack, and let's see, does he shield this? He does. So we should have really just switched out immediately after that shield, because we bring in Venusaur, but he brings in Swampert. So not the best switch from him. He was probably expecting a Bastion, I think. But we actually catch his Swampert off guard with Venusaur, and obviously you guys know this is a matchup I can just farm away. And he has one more Sky Attack ready to go, but we still have that shield, guys. And we have a ton of energy after farming that Swampert down. And you know what's going to happen here. Here comes one Frenzy Plant, and we have a second one immediately after that. So what a game there. That was really, really close. I'm not sure if I don't think he would have won regardless if he swapped or not, because we had a shield remaining and we would have been able to finish off Skarmory in the end. And then he would have had Swampert in the back. So regardless, really well played. And that was a really close one. Alright, so jumping into this final game here, guys. I'm sorry if I sound sick. I have allergies right now. My nose has been running all day. We're going to be opening Bastion, and he opens with the Flyer. I felt like because we never opened Bastion, he probably wouldn't predict us to open Bastion in any of these games, because he does have two nice counters to it, being Swampert and Medicham. So we finally play it as a lead and we catch him, and he's gonna opt to just stay in here. So really interesting. I definitely would have swapped out if I were him, but maybe he doesn't want to give up switch advantage like that. But he brings in Swampert, so that actually makes sense. He can just farm us now. Although these Stone Edges will be doing a nice little chunk. Nothing that is really threatening. Oh, he's not going to shield either of these, I don't believe. Yeah, he does not. He knows. And he's going to just farm a ton of energy from us now. But we do have something that can tank whatever Swampert has thrown at us, and it's a Azumarill. He's going to immediately swap into a Skarmory. Probably expecting a Venusaur to come out, honestly. But we're going to go for the immediate shield bait, and he decides to not block, so that's perfectly fine. We're going to switch into Skarmory. Now we have a huge health advantage, but he does have a quite large energy advantage, but it doesn't matter. He does use his first shield there. Even if this is Flash Cannon, I'm not going to block because it still doesn't do enough for me to be pressured. So since we know that his Swampert is in the back, all we're gonna try to do here is burn his last shield. So let's see, do we get it here? I don't think we do. No, we don't. So that's perfectly fine. He's gonna be able to nearly faint us down with this final sky attack right before he says goodbye to that Scarm. And we're gonna actually both simultaneously KO. But we still have 2 shields, guys, and that Swampert is so very low. So he's gonna just go for the Hail Mary Earthquake. It's not gonna connect because we still have a shield, and we're just gonna faint down that Swampert with bubbles. So wow, really good training session there with SimplyMoxie. GG's and very well played. I definitely appreciate the battles, and I am down for any more if you are watching this video. Really close series and just awesome training. I definitely needed that. I haven't been practicing regionals as much as I should. I've been more practicing Twilight for the Go Stadium and for other either remote tournaments or my local tournaments. But yeah, just awesome gameplay in that video, I think, in my opinion. Definitely some high level plays from him. And once again, I do appreciate the battles. I hope you all enjoyed these as well. Even though I didn't do much analyzing on our teams, I figured we pretty much have the same team, so there's not much analyzing to do. It's all about how you formulate your lineup and in what order. So yeah, it is what it is. But if you guys are new here and you enjoyed this regionals practice versus a top level trainer, please don't forget to smash that subscribe, leave a like, comment down below, hit that bell. That is very, very important. It helps with my YouTube videos and getting in the algorithm, and it also lets you guys know whenever I upload a video once you have that bell turned on. So I definitely appreciate that, and make sure to follow my Twitter for updates on videos, streams, etc. And yeah, I'd like to say I appreciate you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until the next video, I will talk to you all later. Have a great day and peace out.